And we are live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are in the world. Welcome to another edition of Rage Across New York as part of the Living World of Darkness venue. Our story begins tonight after, nearly 24 hours after a certain Black Fury and Black Fury kinfolk came to an accordance of sorts on where their life was going to be headed collectively. After a howl out in the sept, Kelly felt it was only right to inform her sister first and foremost, then likely her father, if she can actually find him and get a hold of him.
All the extra shifts at the hospital.
So busy. And then finally, her pack, which with May there might be a little awkward, but probably not nearly as awkward as telling her kid sister first. We start with Kelly in a very lighthearted mood, a little sore, her arm still bandaged up, fairly severely still, from the beating she took at the hands of Zeke earlier. But nonetheless, even though her arms hurt and throb with the pain of an aggravated wound, she makes her way upstairs and gingerly takes the knocking device on the door and taps it a few times.
Yeah, Leah's actually inside. She wasn't home most of the day. She had some stuff to do and all that fun stuff. But she's actually currently at a rather large space on the floor there that has a bunch of blankets and pillows and stuff piled up, and she was currently in the middle of folding all this junk. But upon hearing the door knocking, well, she just finishes folding the one she has in her hands real fast, and walks over to the door, kind of peeks through the little eye hole thingy to see who's there. I'm assuming I see a really warped version of Callie.
A really warped version of Callie waving excitedly through the hole.
And yeah, she smiles at that and kind of props this big green comforter like on her arm, and attempts to open the door one-handed. So there's a bunch of clicking sounds. It sounds a little bit awkward, I'm sure. And finally, after like 30 seconds, she gets it open. Opens the thing. It's like, hey, come on in.
Kelly just literally kind of lunges at her sister and just hugs her around her neck with just a very happy sigh as she squeezes her sister so very tightly.
Let me breathe. Meanwhile, there's a blanket that's kind of half fluffed up and sticking out from between the two of them.
How you doing? She says as she steps in and closes the door for her sister.
I'm okay. I was just and she kind of eyes the pile of blankets and pillows and stuff. I was just reorganizing the place. Want to help me fold some blankets?
I can help you fold some blankets.
Cool. She's gonna take the lime green one and take it back over to the bed and just set it on there for now. And she goes over and grabs a blanket, throws the other end to her, and we'll assume they start folding here. Mm-hmm. There's probably about 3 blankets there.
So, how have you been?
Good.
Had a good day?
I'm good. It was... Yeah, actually it was pretty good. You?
I've had a day. And she kind of gestures to these, to the bandages on her forearms, which are slightly a brownish color now, or at least part of them are. You can see what looks to be the silhouettes of, a scar pattern similar to that of perhaps large claws. It's been a day.
Has someone been beating up on you again?
Taught somebody how to use their claws a little bit more effectively, and God, guy's breath did they are the man they're a fast study. That's all I can really say about it. As she kind of pushes the comforter towards Leah, so they can switch to another incremental fold.
Yep, she'll take that one and set it over to the side, and pull the next one up through the end over, fold, fold, fold.
And last night was interesting for me too.
It was, in fact, fairly interesting.
Yeah, you two, or all of you, left before we did.
Do you really want to talk about that right now?
Well, I just, you know.
Hey, if you're gonna have fun, go for it, but I don't have to stay around and, get all the details.
Who said you were going to get details? We were going to go do our thing and then come back.
Right, because that's what we do. I'm not, yeah. I'm okay. I just went home and all is well.
Fair enough. And she'll continue to help fold.
Yeah, that's the second one. And then the third one, so we'll do that one. Fold, fold, fold. And then, well, we can assume that's done. It's just blankets. And then, here, have a seat. Let me just put these where they go.
Callie will sit down.
And yeah, we'll go over and she's gonna put them in the front closet there, which is she's using as a combination coat closet / storage, because there's not a lot of storage to be had here. So she puts them on the top shelf, which she's kind of stretching to reach. Let's be honest, she's 5'1".
Callie be sitting there. She's peeling away the bandages off her arms to take a look at the wounds. Ow. At least they're not bleeding anymore. I don't suppose you have clean dressings, do you?
Well, actually, I probably do. Hang on a second. And she'll go into the bathroom, because that seems to be the most likely place to keep first aid supplies at a tiny place like this. And, come back out with some various supplies, some gauze, some tape, some, ointment, that kind of stuff.
Please tell me that you have peroxide and not rubbing alcohol.
Actually, I have both. If you have a preference, it's cool with me.
Peroxide, oh God, I don't want to. No.
Well, just to see how well this goes, perhaps I shall roll my medicine.
All right.
Amazingly, I have it.
She's suffering from 4 health levels of ag.
Well, I don't know if I can do much with ag with just rolling medicine. I'll let you decide that. But at the very least, we can see how well the bandaging is done. Also, I've never gotten to roll it before, so, let's pray. Not too bad, I'd have to say.
Wow. So as Callie kind of holds her arms out for Leah to work on, she'll sort of wince slightly as she's expecting it to hurt more than it actually does.
Am I hurting you? Because you said she was wincing, so.
It stings just a little bit.
Okay, well, I can't help some of that. You hurt yourself.
I know.
Well, I took a few first aid classes and stuff over, especially once I realized what I wanted to do. I'm going to be a nurse and stuff, pretty much. I need to be able to do this stuff.
This is true. You're doing a very good job, says Leah might jab just a little bit too much into the wound with a cotton ball.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hurt you. We'll just say after a couple... She's just gonna very gingerly, put this thing in place and put the tape around the wound, not on the wound, obviously. But let's be real. There's probably gonna be some hair involved in pulling off the tape later, because there always is. And she carefully gets this whole thing in place, and sort of steps back. Honestly, the ointment might help a little bit too. It's a kind that numbs just a little bit.
I'm already feeling a little bit better.
Well, your dad should be able to change it later if you need to.
Kind of just nods. So I had a conversation last night with Vale about some important things.
Oh, so you talked.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
I'm just kidding you.
She just kind of shakes her head and smirks. We do talk indeed.
Good.
But, thought about a few things, and sort of what I dealt with today kind of drives some of it home.
Okay. Are you going to tell me more, or just kind of like work around the outside of this conversation?
Trying to be poetic.
Oh, okay. Do go on with the poetry. I would love to hear it.
It's not actual poetry, but I digress. Leah, how long do you expect me to actually live, realistically?
Forever.
Yeah, seriously.
Forever. You're not allowed to die before me. We have to die at the exact same moment, or one of us will go crazy.
Well, that would be nice. I don't think it's going to be in the cards, quite honestly. As much as I'd like them to be, at least.
Look, I'm realistic. I mean, I know the life you live. We've had this discussion before.
Well, that discussion made me think about a few things. Where my life's going, how much longer I actually have to live it. Where my priorities in life are.
It's a good thing to think about, I suppose. As long as you're not getting all dejected and suicidal about it.
Quite the opposite. I'm actually a lot happier than I've been, well, since last time we got to do something normal, homecoming.
Well, I know you're looking for normal. It's kind of hard to get because your definition of normal doesn't coincide with your life. Maybe you should redefine normal.
I think that's what I've done. She takes Leah's hands and smiles at her warmly, not really looking in her eye, just kind of smiling, blushing even slightly. Kind of rubbing her thumbs over the back of Leah's hands.
Immediately looks suspicious. Kelly doesn't blush.
So, had a discussion with Vale last night. And, timing and attraction and emotional bonds that have been forming made me accept an offer of his.
Did he offer you a job too?
Kinda. And she'll look up, and her, like the tops of her cheeks and the bridges of her nose are just about as scarlet as can be. She seems to just beam with a radiance at the moment.
You're a little red.
Kind of runs her tongue over her teeth as she kind of smirks. I thought this would be a lot easier. Vale asked me to marry him.
Leah just kind of leans back. Doesn't let go of her hands or anything, but leans back. Kind of just trying to get a full impression of Callie's reaction here, you know, kind of getting the whole view. But doesn't say anything. It's like she's waiting to hear hear a response. Just because a question was asked doesn't mean that she said yes.
And I thought about it. Thought about the relationship our mom had with our dads. How much we craved some semblance of a family life that was a little bit more to the norm. And just chews on her lip. I said yes.
Really? Because Leah looks pretty looking shocked at the moment. And her hands kind of loosened. She's not releasing, but like just loosening, kind of like she's forgotten that their hands are touching.
I will nod at this and just kind of confirm.
Okay, so I mean, I don't want to like rain on your parade or anything. But I mean, God, there's so many things I could say.
I know it's extremely sudden, and that's putting it mildly.
3 days? 4 days, maybe? You barely know him. I mean, God, I want you to be happy. Believe me, I do, but you barely know him. And you were just crying and drinking to me the other day about May. Like, literally 2 days ago or 3 days ago or something.
Yeah, I know. And I'd be lying if I said this wasn't, at least in some part, a product of that.
I'm just saying, if you were still having that reaction to someone else, why would you want to marry him right now? Why couldn't you at least let it grow a little bit and see what's going to come?
Because I'm not afforded that luxury.
You are afforded the luxury of choosing who you wish to be with a full knowledge.
I'm
Not taking the first person who you're with unless that's somebody you really, really love.
I'm starting to fall for him.
starting to fall for you. Starting to. I'm sorry. God, I love you, I do, but...
I'm about to go fight one of the aspects of the worm that nearly destroyed the world not even 80 years, or a little over 100 years ago. A product of a greater beast that destroyed the entire tribe of Garou and its kinfolk.
So you want to break Vale's heart, but, if you die?
No.
Because that's what would happen. If you die, then he's just going to be more heartbroken. I mean, I'm not telling you shouldn't live your life, but... I don't think you're thinking with your head here.
What am I thinking with then, Leah?
If you're going to try to use this whole heart thing, because that's obviously the answer, that's fine, but you need to... But, God... I mean, look, I'm already... I will tell you right now, I've never really had a real relationship. But from what I can see, it needs to be both head and heart. Love doesn't cure everything, as I understand it. And it might not even just be that. It might be something else that you're thinking with it, I'm not going to be naming at the moment.
Kelly kind of half frowned, half grimaces at Leah. Really?
Well,
You think that's
it could be. It could be a factor.
I'm not saying it isn't part of it. I mean, have you looked at him? And she goes dreamy-eyed for a minute.
Yeah, in fact, I've told him several times what a pretty man he is. Ask him, he'll tell you.
And he's mine.
And you deserve the best. And he might be the best. I barely know him myself. You were telling me that too, that you just thought I deserved something better than Travis, is what you said.
But I mean, he's got his head together, and he loves his family.
Yeah, as I understand it, you're right. He was telling me about his dad and his sister. And I admire him for that. But honestly, do we either of us know him well enough to know if he's even telling the truth at this point, aside from the fact that I assume you've been over there and maybe met them? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it could all be a lie. I'd rather get to know him better first.
He's everything that I want, and just about everything I need.
Except he's not May? It's a question, by the way. I'm not assuming. It's a question.
Kelly turns her head away. She hasn't let go of Leah's hands yet. She's still very gently kind of stroking them, but she does look away when Leah says it's not her. She's just not, or he's not May.
You were planning a future with her in your head. How can you just flip to somebody else because he's an appropriate choice and because you're attracted to him?
I don't know. I just am. I didn't even. She sighs and The thing about it is when we were talking last night, when he finally asked, it wasn't like he had to convince me or cajole me. It wasn't he had to sell it. It just felt right. And I know you didn't have the greatest relationship with her, but when I said yes, I felt Mom's presence almost.
I did love her. So if you got to feel that, then I'm happy for you. Just because I have opinions about her, don't doubt that I loved her, because I did.
I'm not saying you didn't. Have you ever felt anything to the point where it just seems like everything you know to be true validates it? A choice that you make.
I don't think so. I don't think I guess it's just something I haven't been through yet.
Up until recently, I hadn't. Never been sure about anything.
Well, I'm sure about a few things. I'm sure about you. I'm sure with what I want to do with my life. It doesn't feel like just I'm going to get a job. It feels like this is my purpose.
And this is mine.
Your purpose is to... What exactly?
We talked about what was good and what's right as far as the nation is concerned not too long ago.
Yeah.
A man with as much pure blood as mine, nearly more than likely. And I know I want to have kids. And I know the children that we would rear would be paragons onto our tribe.
You know, I know that should mean more to me than it does. Just please tell me that's not the only factor here.
It's not. I mean, it's a factor. It's always going to be a factor for Garu. Always.
Right.
Just can't help that wolf in us. But
Leah gets a strange look on her face at that moment, actually, but tries to hide it really fast.
Callie looks at her sister. What?
Nothing. Just thinking about wolves.
And
I'm in the presence of one, evidently. I'm totally lying, by the way, but you'd probably want to roll dice to catch that, because you're probably not terribly, I'm guessing you're not very attentive at the moment.
I'll roll it.
Then roll it. Roll that empathy. Go for it. Let me roll my subterfuge while we're at it.
All right, let's do this. It's going down just like this. Keep in mind
that I am the darts queen. I do win something once in a while.
This is true. Although they have the same exact rules. Oh.
4 successes.
Damn it. Yeah, she's too distracted to really catch if you need anything by that.
Well, she did a rather bad lie to cover it up, so there you go. I'm genius.
That is genius. I mean, like when I decided to go to bed with him, there was a lot of sweetness in that date, and something I hadn't experienced. And then the she-wolf sort of took over, and before I knew it, I was kind of in the middle of Reading, and just happened. And biologically, I guess I'm programmed a certain way, and how lucky am I that I found somebody who actually doesn't look at me as somebody that they have to serve up to or someone that they have to inseminate just because that's their duty. Somebody who actually wants me. For me. The queen of awkwardness.
You might have to share that title.
I know it's sudden, but the past few days I've been happy.
Yes, all three of them.
She looks at Leah. The only moment of joy I've had, even comparable to that in the past few months, has been when I realized it was you in the set.
I think we were both pretty shocked. Look, I'm just going to tell you my opinion here. And then I'm going to not repeat myself unless you ask me for an opinion. Okay?
Kind of nods.
So that. Okay. I don't think this is a good decision. It sounds to me still like you're kind of on the rebound. And while I don't doubt that you have feelings for him, I don't understand why did you feel you have to do it right now. I think if you waited, it would be that much better. It's so sudden. And your dad hasn't even met him yet. Like, how crazy is this? But you're my big sister, you're older than me. Not by much. And I do want you to be happy. I just hope that this happiness that you're treasuring so much isn't at the cost of something bigger than you even realize that you're losing now.
What would I be losing?
I couldn't tell you. You're the one who knows you know yourself better than me.
If you're... She kind of stammers over herself. If you're referring to May...
No. Well, maybe a little, but not exactly that.
You were the one that said that you didn't condone what I was thinking about doing.
Exactly. That's why it wasn't exactly that. It's more the idea of her. The idea of... the simple fact that if you can feel something like that for someone so close to getting engaged or any of that to somebody else, it just reeks of wrong to me. We're leaving out the whole question of whether those feelings are okay or not. That's a different subject matter and hopefully not important at the moment. But anyway, the only thing I'm going to say here, beyond all that other stuff, is I want you to be happy. And if you just look at the whole thing, yeah, okay, he's a good choice. He's an appropriate choice. He's a Black Fury kinfolk. You're Black Fury. This is a natural fit. I can't object to it looking at it that way. I just want you to be happy and to be very sure this is what you want. I mean, like, insanely sure. Because if you actually are happy, then I'll back you up regardless of my own opinion.
She chokes up just a little bit. Ever since my first change, I have never liked myself. You knew that.
You're not
I
the
know you
only
knew
one.
it. I hated myself for killing my friends. I hated myself for stealing what should have been yours as well.
I have my own things. Don't worry about me.
I haven't felt good about myself in a really long time. He makes me feel... He makes me feel worthwhile.
That's something. I mean, we all want to feel worthwhile. It's one of the reasons I'm going to school.
She pauses at length.
Let it be silent. I just kind of lean back a little bit on the couch and close my eyes. I'm not sleeping, just trying to, oddly enough, breathe. I said I'd have your back. And I always will.
Kelly reaches out and places a hand on Leah's shoulder. I know you don't agree with it, and I knew you wouldn't. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
I hope you mean that in a way that I'm always have your, what I believe to be your best interests at the forefront. I don't want you making a bad decision because it's made in haste, you know?
Kelly nods. I know. But I can't do this without you there.
I have no intentions of missing anything. I had to have my say. And then you get to make your own decision like a big girl. Which, to be honest, you are bigger than me, so I guess that counts.
Yeah, but you've always been the smarter of the two of us.
No, I'm not so sure it's smarter. I think it's maybe just more practical.
Practicality is not something easy to grasp when you're a spirit hippie.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty practical hippies.
I'm not one of them.
Can you tell me one thing? And I don't want you to kill me for even asking. I just need to make sure. Because I don't think you would. It just... Money doesn't have anything to do with it, does it? Please tell me no.
Snaps back like aghast.
I already said I didn't think it was true. I need to hear you say it.
No.
Okay. I've seen he has a... With the amount he's going to pay me for part-time work, he's got to have some money. And he randomly gave Connor a credit card to buy stuff for the business.
He hadn't even said anything really about money. I knew he owned a house, but that doesn't really mean much in this day and age.
No, it's true, it doesn't. So forgive me, I wasn't trying to be distrusting, but if what you were going for is security, then that seems like, you know...
Emotional stability is one of the things I thought about with him. I mean, he's taking care of his family.
Yeah.
And God forbid if his mom comes back into the picture.
Well, and he's said nothing but nice words about you. But to be fair, I've only met him, technically only once, since we ended up pretty much going to a bar right after when I met him. Connor knew him.
Unless he's just the ultimate con man. I don't think he is. I think he really loves me.
Okay. You're definitely in a better place to catch that than me. Although I will say he seemed to be rather embarrassed and refusing to say whether or not I was pretty, even though I was jokingly calling him a pretty man off and on.
How many times are we mistaken for twins?
A few times before I started making obvious changes.
Would be kind of odd and weird to sit there and call someone who's kind of a lookalike to your girlfriend pretty, especially when they're related.
Oh, totally. That's why he wouldn't do it. Which I appreciated, of course. It's okay. I don't need him to tell me how pretty I am. It's all good. Appearance isn't everything, you know?
True.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings with that question.
A couple months ago, I might have flown off the handle for that and trashed your apartment incidentally.
long as you're buying me new shit.
Might take me a couple of months, but absolutely.
Dad got all this stuff for me. He gave me a small budget to get the things I needed before I moved here.
Now you're going to have a nicer job.
Yeah, I'm still keeping the old one at least for a couple of shifts a week.
Variety's not bad.
Hmm?
So variety's not bad.
It's not variety, it's more... Wouldn't mind getting a little bit in my savings account.
Guess I know it's a foregone conclusion, but I don't want to assume. But we're Greek, so this is a big deal. You know it's a big deal.
Oh God, we're having one of those weddings, aren't we? Do I get to do your makeup?
Everything. You're going to be my maid of honor, right?
I can't let you get married without me there.
And the waterworks start flying for Callie as she just kind of leans forward and embraces her sister.
Thea kind of hugs her and like whispers in her ear, and she's just like, "Do you know what a pain in the ass you are sometimes?"
I didn't want to disappoint you.
I just... Okay, we all do things for the sept, you know? I just didn't want that to be something you gave to them.
How often do we get to do our duty and enjoy it this much?
I haven't exactly been forced to do any duty in that area yet, so...
And as long as I have to say about it, you'll never be forced to. That was the one promise I made to Mom. Said I would never let you be just breeding stock, no matter what anyone said.
So wait, so you promised her that because you wanted to, or because she asked you to?
We had a discussion a couple of nights before my rite of passage about the tribe in general, and kinfolk and Garou and our dynamics. She told me that the 2 times that she had children, she did so out of affection for the person she was with. She did her duty, but in both instances we were surprises.
Well, I imagine so.
When I asked her if, we were mistakes, we were sitting around a campfire out there in the Olive Hills, and she put an arm around me and she said, and Callie's eyes are puffy at this point, and just dripping.
Reach over and grab a box. There's like, she has a little box of tissues on the table there, and just kind of grabs them and offers it to Callie.
She told me that a mistake It's something when, if you had the opportunity to do it again, you wouldn't. But a surprise was something you didn't even know you wanted until you got it. I
But
told her that I wanted both of us, me and you, to be able to choose to have children because we wanted them. Not because somebody told us that we needed to or we had to.
I agree with that.
She asked me if I could make good on that promise. Or I could make good on that desire if I could promise it. I told her yes.
Well, the thing with that is that we did still grow up in the Sept, so both of us know our duty.
No one ever said when or who with.
Exactly. And I fully intend to have children if I can someday. Just not right now. It would be really hard going to school with a baby.
It'd be hard to make afro while having a child.
Assuming, because you were worried about that the other day.
Ready to be with somebody, just not ready to be carrying around children just yet. Even though at this point, I think part of me wouldn't mind with him. And today, when I thought about it, it didn't scare me like it did, which is weird. Because I am basically a big chicken shit.
Sure, the big chicken shit Arun. Because those are common.
I never said I was not complicated. Well, at least in some respects. I'm sure there are other ones where I'm pretty simple.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just... I guess I just never... It's not just the shock of the whole thing, it's... I guess I just never pictured it happening so soon, like... As in... I mean... You're 19. There are people that wait to get married and have kids till they're 35 or 40, you know?
Well, those people also don't face down, 10-story creatures hiding inside a chrysalis surrounded by worm minions.
This is true.
We live fast and we die young, generally speaking. Mom was young. Way too young to have died just when she did. Meg? She was 17.
Yeah. So sorry about her. I mean, she wasn't my best friend, but, like, she was always nice to me, you know? Like when, you know, like, she'd come up, when she'd come over, she'd bring enough popsicles for all of us, and then she wouldn't just ignore me because I'm your kid sister, you know?
Yeah. She was good people.
I just like that she didn't try to make me feel left out.
She always used to say, just wait, Kelly. I'm sure she'll turn. I'm sure she'll change. She's got more of you in her than you realize. And then when you didn't, she said that one of the two of you had to be smart.
You keep complimenting me. Don't you realize by now I see through that bullshit?
I'm 100% serious. Meg saw it for what it was. She knew I was impulsive and brash and that you were sort of my center. I wish she was here now.
That would be nice.
I wish Mom was here. Either she'd be praising me right now or she'd be yelling at me, one or the other.
She'd be glad you got out of the other thing. But I will do my best not to bring that up. Because really, I think you need to move forward, not look at the past.
I see a lot of good things coming up for me. And you.
Depends on the bridesmaid dress you pick. Because I'm telling you what, if it's brown, fluffy, and has a gigantic bow on my ass, I'm not going.
What if it's pink and fluffy with a bow on your ass?
I can deal with pink, I can deal with fluffy, I cannot deal with bows on asses.
I was thinking of traditional Grecian garb.
Whatever you want. Just keep in mind that if I ever do get married, I fully expect you to say those same words to me. Whatever you want.
I will wear a brown fluffy dress and with a pink bow on the ass just for you.
Well, that's more than I would do for you, so you must love me more.
Well, you know. many people get to have a kid sister as awesome as you?
Only the few cursed ones. I do feel sorry for you. So maybe I should like tell you something.
If you hit on Vale, I totally forgive you.
Oh God, no. I don't see why I would do that. That's just kind of wrong and really, really rude.
Okay.
No, he was
So-
just he was honestly introduced to me as a Connor met him, and like he's been trying to help me find a better job, and the one thing he was looking at didn't pan out, but he met Vale, and Vale needed some help, and well, it turns out that he happens to be dating my sister. That's pretty much how that went.
Small world.
Still need a job though, so I actually asked him. I was like, "So what if you break up? Are you gonna like fire me because you and my sister broke up?" He said no, but it's a fair question.
Was that what you were going to tell me?
No, that was a side note.
All right, so what's the main course?
Don't assume anything. But Alan stayed. But don't. Yeah.
She starts to cringe until she hears Al, and then she relaxes.
Alan stayed over last night, but it wasn't like that.
Callie just gets this shit-eating grin on her face.
You can look that way all you like.
What?
He just stayed over, that's all. He was like drunk.
Okay, that's a fair point. But if he just stayed over and there was not a pang of feeling there or interest, you wouldn't be telling me this.
I know. He's very charming.
I like Alan.
He kept telling me I was sweet.
Even if he does lay things on a little thick sometimes.
He's a strange cookie, too. Insisted on sleeping on the floor.
In lieu of sleeping in your bed, or... She kind of looks at all the blankets.
That are not put away. But there are still pillows lying there.
So she looks at the pillows. You two cuddle up on the floor?
Yeah, I don't know why I did it. It's really weird. I have a perfectly good bed, but for some strange reason... I don't know what it is yet. It's weird. Just kind of looking down, but just kind of in a little bit of a shy way, I guess. She's not red at all like you were.
Callie just kind of sits back and she'll pat Callie or Leah on the knee.
There's something about him, like the stories. I don't know where the hell he comes up with those things.
He's a Galliard.
I know that, but you have to have the right brain to make that work.
He's a Galliard.
Well, for God's sake, you keep repeating yourself. I get it.
I have a mind for fighting. And not much else.
Are you sure? I mean, you disappeared to the bathroom.
I guess that's kind of a form of... No.
No, he's just...
Look, look.
I guess I'm just telling you it's something. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
There are people in this set that you could do a lot worse with. He's one of the good eggs that I've seen. And there aren't enough of them. And even though it doesn't make any difference either way, he is one of the few people that I approve of.
It does mean something. I still make my own choices.
I know, but it just... If Vale wasn't in the picture and he wasn't Garou, he'd definitely be on my radar.
But why does he want to sleep on a floor? I have a couch. I have a bed, for God's sake.
Callie kind of shrugs at that one. I have no idea.
Yeah, he also asked me why I didn't have any beanbag chairs, and I'm like, because most people don't want to sit in those except me. I should get one, though. It's not like it takes up a lot of room.
I'd like to have a beanbag chair so large I could get lost in it.
That would be amazing. We need to do some research on the internet and see if those are available. And if so, I'll get both of us one, and we'll have two of them here.
And when the world becomes too much for us to bear for any given amount of time, we both just disappear into our beanbag chairs.
Yes. This is a very good plan.
The no responsibility zones.
I might take my DS or something down there with me, possibly my phone. Gotta have some games to play.
I plan on keeping goldfish in there.
That's a good idea. So yeah, it just, emergency snackage. Maybe some bottled water.
I'd say Cheez-Its, but you always destroyed any box I ever used to bring home, even when I hid them.
I have a radar for them, what can I tell you? But if it makes you feel better, I have some in the other room. I can go grab them for you. You can destroy my box.
Callie just pinches her nose and thinks about what she just said and then rolls her eyes. I swore I'd never do this, but... Great guy, Leah. Phrasing.
Wow. I totally wasn't even thinking like that. So I think we just switched roles there.
I have my moments.
I mean, I'm the one who had a guy sleeping on my floor. Yeah. But I promise you, I'm not getting married in the next 4 days.
That's fine. That's my thing anyway. Don't you want you to be a copycat?
Oh.
Oh, I just realized.
I'm pretty sure I couldn't, actually.
I just realized something. I know how it's true love on his part. He's seen me sleep. And not just, half asleep, Callie laying on your lap. No. full asleep, sprawled Callie. The ghastly monstrosity that sleeps with her mouth open and snores.
Well, I can tell you that that's not as bad as you think it is.
I've seen a picture of me asleep.
I've got a few. I mean, wait. Anyway, changing the subject? I need to make copies of my pictures, seriously, because you're going to start stealing my phone and deleting them.
I have a glass walker in my pack now. All your information all now belong to us.
Well, you can do that. But assuming I learn any sort of healing, which, you know, I can do a little here, I can possibly learn the gift. If someone were to do that, I might refuse to use whatever skills I do have on that person. But, you know, it's not a threat, it's just a possibility.
Poor Emmett.
It's not my fault if he messes with my stuff.
No, it's really not.
He messes with my stuff, I gave the warning ahead, right? Right.
Yeah. And because clearly I will have no involvement in this thing that doesn't include me.
Because, you know, Emmett totally knows me so well to go looking for pictures of you.
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever met him?
It's uncanny. I don't know, have you? He's the only African American hipster I've ever met.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He has
Pretty
a very
sure that wasn't
interesting D-Day. I feel kind of bad for him. He's called Flaccid Fist.
The word flaccid is involved?
Flaccid Fist. And I'm not making that up.
Does this have anything to do with the box that you were, like, going on about a minute ago?
If you're implying that your box makes people flaccid,
My box doesn't have any say on whether people are flaccid or not. It's just filled with Cheez-Its.
Kelly just kind of face palms as she's trying not to. I really don't want Cheez-Its now.
Well, you know, it's not my fault. I offered, and, you know, if you say no, you say no.
I don't want to put my hands in your box.
Well, I mean, I have some yogurt in there. Would you prefer yogurt?
I think eating out of my sister's box is kind of wrong.
Well, yogurt doesn't come in a box. It comes in a little, like, containery thing. Although it is in a refrigerator, which is a box.
So you're saying your box is kind of cold?
At least one of them, yes. Yeah, this just keeps getting worse and worse.
I know. We need to stop.
I think Mom might have flipped on that one, actually. Would have heard the conversation and just been like, that is enough!
She probably would have flipped the couch.
Wouldn't be the first. Besides, I'm not sure I would have had that conversation a couple years ago, so, you know. Well, at least
Yeah.
not with you.
Do you remember our freshman year when she decided that she was going to be there for the entire first quarter? Do you remember when we tried to sleep past the alarm?
What, that's that weird sound that came from her mouth that we'd never heard before?
That or the way she flipped us both out of our beds before we could even realize what was going on?
Well, you know, the combined effort of both those things was kind of persuasive. It does kind of make my point a little bit, though. Like, I don't know. I mean, is that really the right way to handle kids?
I thought she did all right at some places. Like,
Even
she did make
smart-ass
good.
teenage kids.
She did make good on that threat to drive us to school in nothing but her nightgown.
Well, it's not like she was the only mom doing that.
This is true.
It's kind of it was, and it wasn't quite as bad as the people of Walmart, net page there.
No, Mom was a looker, though.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Oh, God, do you remember the Lancaster boys? How they always asked
Land.
us about how she was doing?
Actually, I was trying to block that out, but thank you.
I almost wish I had just decided to say, yeah, you should come by sometime. Call them over on a day when she was particularly pissed. But then again, they might have ended up all over the walls, so.
Well, you were threatening Connor's life, and he certainly didn't end up all over the walls.
I
So
didn't threaten his life.
yes, you did.
How did I threaten his life?
By using your voice and talking to me.
Okay, again, how was that threatening his life? What were my exact words?
Don't remember the exact words. I've had too much alcohol in between those times. I think it erased my brain cells.
Well, no evidence, no victim, no crime. She kind of holds her hands up in the air.
Well, no, there was no crime. All you did was threaten. You didn't actually do it.
I didn't. That can be considered a crime, but there was no crime because there's no evidence. No complaint of witnesses. No complaint of.
Actually, I just complained. You know me with my hand held up like a school kid. And honestly, it's cool. I get it. Like, you are what you are.
All I did was use sense worm on him. Why is that so bad?
You didn't necessarily do anything wrong. As a matter of fact, if I recall, I got into a bit of a disagreement with Travis over it. On your side.
Well, that's true. That's because you do love me so much. Because I'm your favorite sister.
I'm not so good in the way of defending you physically, but in every other way, I do my best.
It's much appreciated.
So did you really make peace with Travis?
He thinks so. I just kind of told him that, you know, he needs to start acting right, not be such a troll to everybody around him.
Well, to me, it kind of felt like when he was going on about how rude it was and Connor's friend and all this stuff, it just kind of felt like he was trying to be like the big alpha dog of the situation.
I don't bow down to male alphas. I never have, and I don't plan on starting anytime soon.
And that's fine, but it's a little more of a dangerous situation for me if I don't. That said, he told me before that he told me that he doesn't hurt kinfolk. So I didn't think I was in any immediate danger in standing up for you.
Kelly snorts slightly.
What?
I don't think he would have hurt Bettina. But my only experience with that, and her voice has gotten a considerable amount colder. As if that black fury blood has literally just boiled up to the surface. I didn't like the way he dealt with Bettina in the situation that we were in.
Fair enough. Nobody's perfect.
No, nobody is.
And based on that, I mean, he's never done anything to me. I have no reason to think that he would.
He's already put you in danger.
Yes. But he also realized he was wrong, and I think that's important too.
It's important. I'll agree with you, but still.
Look, I don't know if he'll ever be my best friend or anything, but I don't have a problem with him.
Well, that's where you and I differ. I still believe that he hasn't changed, even though he wants to. But wanting something isn't enough.
Well, someone can't change unless they want to.
Here's hoping that he can change at some point.
I believe he can. Anybody can, you just have to want it enough. And in the meanwhile, as long as he treats me with respect, I'm okay.
Well, we'll see how long that can last, because it doesn't seem like he can keep that mouth of his in check.
Well, I don't want you to get hurt over it either.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's just part of the life that you and I have. If someone outranks you or is more powerful than you, then you kind of have to take it.
I found a way to deal with Travis.
Okay.
He's not that hard to play, if you know what to look for.
I guess I'm going to trust you. It sounds like it might be a bit too dangerous of a game for my taste.
Well, You have to be willing to stand there and take a punch from him.
I'd rather not.
If he ever laid a hand on you, it wouldn't just be me. Night Eyes, Vale.
I haven't met Night Eyes yet.
You really should. I think you'd like her.
I would happily meet her. I just don't, you know.
Wash Stinger would kill him if he ever put a hand on you.
Even if I antagonized him?
Your kinfolk. You're our most precious gift from Gaia. Your family. You defend that at all costs, even if it's for Mother Garu.
I do seem to be related to just about every other Black Fury that around here.
2, 3, I get
3, almost 3.
almost. Well, and then his dad and his sister.
True, but I've never met them. But there you go. Yeah, I suppose so. In that far-fetched, really extended family kind of way.
Hey, look at it this way. His sister's only 13. We both finally get like an actual kid sister. Like little sister. One that we can dote on and spoil.
Well, I don't know. I mean, my dad's new wife is young enough they could. I admit I'm hoping they don't.
Kelly kind of cancer head. Really?
Yeah. He could, I mean, I just think it'd be awkward. I would never, like, get to see this kid. I live over here now.
Kelly kind of looks a little bit quizzical. Live here now.
Well, yeah. I'm looking at least 5 or 6 years of school here. Like 6 years. I mean, for the next 6 years, I anticipate living here most of the time.
You know, I kind of imagine that when it comes time to settle down, at least, that there might be a sept in upstate New York that we could all go to.
Why? I mean, you
Well,
came here for your dad.
yeah, but I don't necessarily want to raise a family here, and I
I don't
mean,
know. I'm getting I kind of love living here. It's so different from home, you know? Like, if I want Chinese at 3 in the morning, I can go get Chinese at 3 in the morning.
they do have nice bagels here, and
Yeah. I mean, back home, pretty much my options are live with my dad and stepmom, or live with my dad and stepmom, or marry that nice guru next door. Here, I have every option in the world. I can do whatever I want here.
sure,
I like it here.
I like a simpler pace of life, but at the same time, she looks at Leah. My home's where my family is.
I came here kind of just looking to get away from everything. At least take a break.
I'm
I ended
sorry
up.
I ruined that.
No, let me finish. God. I ended up finding like the world's biggest family and feeling as if I have a ridiculous amount of like protection. And I'm surprised, and I kind of find I like that too. Even if it does curb a little bit of the freedom. It's okay. Because I really didn't know where you were at, and it's kind of like... I mean, my life was kind of empty anyway. I was kind of looking for something else, and you know what I mean? Something to fill the void.
Well, you have your sister. You have a sort of odd semi-parent relationship as far as Meg is concerned, I guess, if you wanted to call it that.
Honestly, I haven't seen him since he got his gift.
And you're about to have a brother and a sister-in-law and a father-in-law, to a point, at least.
And maybe in some strange sense, this really weird child of Gaia. Maybe. Well, you were saying what Mom was saying about surprises, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what life's about, the surprises.
Yeah. It is. Look, hey, lunch. You wanna go out and get some Chinese at 11:30 at night?
There's this little place just like a block away, actually. It's really good, surprisingly.
Well, as long as there's nothing crawling in it. Sounds
Oh,
like
no,
good
no.
idea.
And I'm pretty sure the meat isn't cat, so that's good, too.
Jeez, Leah.
I'm just joking.
Don't ever let stargazers hear you say that. Seriously. They'll never
Who?
let you back up in the treehouse. The stargazers.
Well, I'm joking to you, not to a stargazer.
They have ways of knowing things.
Leah's gonna stand at this point and grab all the pillows and just kind of walk, like, open the curtain real quick, throw it back on the bed, throw those on the bed too, and then close the curtain. So there's officially no more evidence out of any of the weirdness of that.
Callie just kind of looks at Leah with an odd glance.
She's not even going to acknowledge what she just did. And as she walks over to Callie and offers a hand. So you wanted Chinese?
Callie just smiles and nods as she takes Leah's hand.
And she helps her up just like a perfect gentleman. And I mean, unless there's something else you want to do, we could probably end with them heading out to get Chinese at 11:30 at night.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you all for watching.